We're in Japan, Tokyo. Superpowers Clash, New Japan. April 24th, 1989, Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Now, this is the tournament, and here we have the final. Hashimoto. Is it fair to say you had some issues?
Well, I never felt he lived. Well, I don't want to say never, but at this particular point in time, Hashimoto did not live up to the money he was making, the fame he had in Japan, elsewhere around the world. I didn't feel he compared to Chono or Muta at that time. And, he smoked a lot, he drank a lot, and I didn't think that I didn't have the respect for him at this particular time that I had for other Japanese wrestlers.
How did he present himself to you outside the ring? Was he humble, or was he someone who thought he deserved the respect?
As far as the individual, I don't really know. Didn't know him well enough, but he was, in my opinion, he was somewhat arrogant. He would, as they say, take liberties. In other words, you would give him your arm. I remember the arm, not at this point, but a little bit later on in this match. I don't know if we'll see it because this one I understand is edited, but he had my arm over the rope, and I gave it to him,
right,
like this, and I actually took my arm away, and when he did that, he bent it, and to this day, this elbow's crippled. I mean, the ligament here and the elbow. So you give yourself to somebody.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the doctor, and I needed surgery and never had it. So the elbow was very arthritic at this point, but I don't know if that was it.
He is working the arm now.
He's working the arm, but I remember, he really did hurt it. And
so he was stiff in general, right? I mean, this is...
his kicks were, everyone, my reputation is that I was stiff, and I was, and I accept that, but Hashimoto was equally as stiff and probably more dangerous. I mean, I would club you and I would clothesline the hell out of you, but I wouldn't kick you in the face.
You wouldn't take a joint and
that didn't know how to, one, but wouldn't do it, and two, the kicks to the head and stuff like this. So this was, we were pretty leery of each other, and the match went on.
It's notable that Lou Thez is in fact the referee here.
Yes, sir. We were in the Tokyo Dome, I believe. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but this match was. There's a drop kick.
Drop kick by Vader. Let's please not let that go unmentioned.
Drop kick.
First and last, or what?
No, I did a few, but not many. But
okay.
I can't do that anymore. That's for sure.
Wow.
But this was we were 70,000 people, plus.
I don't know the attendance, but I would buy that, sure.
Which really, I want to use the word freaked. It really impressed me at that time.
You worked 3 times for the tournament. This being the final of those matches. Chono, Fujinami, and then here. How just gassed are you at this point? You're not a small man.
This is the 3rd match. Yeah, I'm physically exhausted, and I had gotten in good shape, but at my size, we're over an hour at this point in terms of wrestling time and
your total time in the ring.
Total time in the ring, and they weren't your typical hour matches where you sit and hold. I mean, they were 18, 20, 24, 26, 28 minute matches where you're moving and you're working. So yeah, I'm extremely tired.
But taking those wonderful kicks. Now, is he taking the receipt properly in return, or
yeah? With this guy, he continually kicks you in the elbow, and not in the safe part, but down on the joint, and he kicks you hard, even if it's in the muscle. You have to let individuals know, hey, you're hurting me, so I'm going to let you know that. In other words, I'm going to hurt your back.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit your back. So that was the first clothesline. A lot of people don't know this, but this is the 2nd clothesline, and this was not the finish. We had another 5 minutes in the match, but that clothesline right there actually knocked him out. And you'll see Thez is actually confused. One, 2, he stops. You see that?
Because there's supposed to be a kick out.
There's supposed to be a kick out. There wasn't, so I pinned him. And again, you're in Japan. Had I known he was hurt or not going to kick out, I would have pulled him up. But
you didn't know, and this was back at a time when, what are you going to do? The third hand's got to come down.
In Japan, for me to pick him up or jump off him at that point, it would have really gone over bad.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, in that era and that day. But yeah, that was a tough match.
Who had first proposed that you would get the belt?
I think it was a plan all along. Had I worked out, if I had filled the shoes of Vader and was drawing people, which I know when I got there, business wasn't really all that good, and I remember bringing myself in and Bam Bam after me and a series of guys, but business picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whoa, where we at, Sean?
Tokyo Dome, once again.
Uh-oh.
February 10th, 1990. Your old pal.
This match cost me a lot of money, I'm telling you what. For hospital bills.
Look at this.
I made a little money, but whatever I made in the ring, I'll tell you, I spent 3 times that in surgeries after the ring, and that's a shoot. Legitimate story.
Stan Hansen.
Big Stan, man. Stan the man. Let me tell you real quick.
Yeah.
I was at the WWE, and things weren't working out. Real quick story. My last match at WCW was Bash at the Beach. I separated my chest, had several surgeries on the shoulder, and I was talking with Vince, and we cut a deal that I would have the surgery and come back in 9 days after my debut in Fresno. It just wasn't enough. I needed 6 to 8 months of rehab. I tried to do it in 90 days. Anyways, to make a long story short, I'd left WWE. I'd spoke to Stan Hansen. Him and I were working behind scenes. I need to call Stan and rethink him again because this it was a good opportunity for me after leaving WWE to come back to Japan. Of course, this match took place in the 90s, but I'm trying to recognize Stan Hansen here for what he had done. But we had cut a deal with Stan and myself had cut a deal with Giant Baba, and then I had asked WWE for my release and I guess in character for WWE, and all in all, they treated me well, and I have nothing bad to say about any of them. But when I did leave, they had put on the website, I guess on TV, that they had fired me, and that wasn't the case. I had asked for my release because with the injury, I just couldn't.
You couldn't work.
I couldn't keep up with that schedule. It took a while to admit that, but I just couldn't keep it up with the injury.
I want to ask you quickly about that the headpiece that you would come out with and how that worked with the smoke and the effects.
It was a creation of Antonio Inoki, and it was a mechanical mechanism, and it was remote control. You would teach or tell an individual that was literally, this set's Tokyo Dome. He might be 100 yards away, and he could hit a button and light the eyes up. There was an electrical engine that was run on batteries where he could hit it and it would release smoke.
Right.
So there was a CO2 bottle in there and it would smoke, and then you could actually speak. It had a microphone where you could speak over the arena. So it really gave an effect. So you could growl and speak to the Japanese.
Was that done remotely also, or was there a mic in your thing?
There's a mic actually in the mask.
Wow.
So none of the eyes would light electronically. You could trigger the smoke, and really it was just cold air coming into the arena, and then of course the microphone.
Now your style has changed since you had started. Talk about the changes you decided to make when you were given the character of Vader, the warrior, whatever, versus when you were like working as Baby Bull, for example. What did you want to adorn your character with?
Well, actually, I was just trying to be the best wrestler I could. Earlier back in '86, we were looking at Inoki and matching with Hashimoto, Inoki, and Brody in reverse order, and basically, my career was evolving as per what I could do physically. In other words, as time marches on, you could do more, and then there's a time where you can do less.
Right.
So, you try to do the best you can with what you got.
So your evolution wasn't character related; it was just you were becoming a better wrestler.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, physically you had more confidence in yourself. You had more stamina. You know, my moonsault came at a later date. You know, obviously I couldn't do that when I first started, or I would have. This right here,
the eye injury we should point out here.
This is the
good Lord.
This is a true story. Stan and I are good friends at this point, and very good friends, and we still are. But he entered the ring first, and I come out with the mask on and the electronics and all that stuff as we're going on. So I take it off, and I'm ringside, and Stan, who can't see without his glasses, and he has his glasses
That's
off.
true.
Okay, he comes over the top rope, and he hits me in the forehead with the rope, okay? And it comes down, it breaks my nose. It shatters my nose, all right?
So you got a broken nose in this match?
Before I entered the ring.
Oh, geez.
Before I entered the ring, my nose broke. And I'm standing there, and it actually, I was out on my feet. I just remember I couldn't see, and then I could see, and then I couldn't hear. And they're saying, we'll go in the ring. And I'm standing here with this 60-pound helmet, and, you know, and blood just dripping out. So finally I came to, and I got angry. So I set the mask down, I stepped through the ropes, I stepped through and slapped Stan. Everyone said, well, what's going on, Vader? Why would you get in the ring to slap him? Well, you could see, if we had the ability to rewind this, you could see the rope actually come very close to my nose and actually hitting it. And Stan didn't know that, so when I slapped him, he got angry. And then we got an exchange into the corner, and I've asked Stan this 3 times, I think. He said he didn't, but with his left hand, he thumbed me in the eye.
And that's what did that.
So the nose was broken. Then when he thumbed me, the eye popped out on the cheek. I shoved it back in, and it swelled up around it, but it broke all. I had 8 fractures in the eye and disintegrated the inside of the nose. So I literally had 2 eye surgeries and 2 surgeries on the nose to rebuild it. And my nostril at this point, they're steel. Still, all this is reinforced steel in this area. So literally, and no one paid for that except myself. I should have billed New Japan, but you know, we had a pretty good payday on this match, but it didn't cover my medical bills.
So the eye comes out.